Hello guys, welcome. I'm really excited about having a guest with me here on the HansNic Show. And with me today I have my good friend, and some of you might know him from Presentation Tool, a dedicated, talented technician in the AV industry. And you are here with me today, and we're going to talk about AV, our business, and tech and nerdy stuff in general.
Yeah, no secrets about how to survive as an AV technician, something like that.
Yes.
We will see.
We will see. And we're going to share some also exciting and embarrassing stories from our daily work in the AV field.
You sure about that?
I think so. That I was going to ask you.
Let's have a discussion, how much we can reveal about our work.
And I can imagine that a lot of our viewers are interested in how does an AV technician operate? What is the daily life of an AV technician? Usually we're just sitting in the corner. We are kind of invisible. So how is it for you? Or can I ask you, have you had a really tough day at work? What has been your most stressful experience?
Well, that's kind of a way to start the podcast, but I think sometimes you go to work and you think, this is live, if you are working in live events, then you can go home and that's happened, tomorrow is a new day. So I think maybe the worst is if you are recording something and let's say you forget to push play or record, or actually there was like, to be a bit technical, I'm mostly a sound engineer. And, when you are recording something, you should usually send, the safest thing is to send the sound out of the main of the mix. Because then you get everything, you get every microphone goes out the main, right?
Yes.
And, but I was, for some reason, I used the auxiliaries that you usually use for monitoring.
Yes.
And, for some reason, I didn't put all the speakers through the auxiliary, And then I went back and I slept well. And 2 weeks later, you get the phone. Why are some people missing from the recording,
Oh.
And that's terrible.
That's terrible. That feeling when you get that phone call. Yeah. And that is kind of every technician's nightmare.
Yeah.
To get a phone call like that. How did you handle it? How?
Well, maybe I kind of defended myself a little bit. I said that this was a last minute request about recording or something like that. But what you should do is probably just to, lay flat and say you're sorry. Shit happens, and usually you're able to move on.
Yeah.
And what I think I said at the time, if I remember correctly, was that, yes, I did a mistake, I forgot to put all the microphones to the auxiliary output. But also, this, it was a separate team that was streaming. I was just in charge of the audio.
Yes.
And they didn't tell me that something was wrong.
Yes, of course.
Later,
Because there should be a streaming technician monitoring what's going out on the stream.
Yeah,
I could have told you. Yeah, so there was an issue there that it was basically a person there who should be securing that part.
Yeah,
but didn't do his or her part of the work.
And especially in these situations where you have in our world, I know you do everything yourself, you're streaming. So you're kind of responsible for everything. But normally it's different teams and companies who do different parts.
Yes.
So then if you are streaming and you're receiving audio from a different team, then you should really be fast in the feedback if something is wrong with the sound. So I think maybe that's what was my feedback.
Yes, and I think also as a technician, you're so used to just apologize for things even when it's not your fault.
Yeah.
For the customer, even if it was another person maybe who should have figured that out during the stream, the client calls you and you just have to say, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I messed this up. Even though maybe it wasn't really your fault.
Yeah, sometimes. And I think I probably should have, I don't remember exactly how I handled it, But I probably should have been quite humble in this situation and said that I'm really sorry. It's kind of my fault. But let me tell one story. I have to be a bit anonymously, you know, because the persons are still alive, of course.
And they might be watching this show.
It might be, yes. No, I don't think so.
But if you're watching this show and you know we're talking about you, then you know it's about you.
So, you know, we talked about before we went live that, you know, you are a very yes person, you know?
Yes.
That you always say yes to requests from the customers.
I think a lot of technicians are.
Yeah, because you want to kind of help everything. You want to solve problems. And then if the client says, HansNic, can you work like, it's a 17 hours, you are working 16 hours, but there's another rig up now and can you do it? You will say yes.
Yes, it's kind of like instinct. You're just like, yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not always a good thing, but yeah, I think it's...
But sometimes you need to, if you are always humble, then somebody will screw you over, you know?
Yeah.
So, and one time I had to defend myself.
Yeah.
Because I was a technician. I was quite young in the industry, you know. I was a technician at the festival.
Yeah.
And it was like a 10 hours shift, you know, no breaks.
Oh, yes.
And in the end, and I was like running around, you know, putting on microphones, everything. I was trying to do a good job. And in the end, they had like a dinner for everybody, except us technicians.
Oh.
You know, all the organizers, musicians had like food, beautiful food on the stage.
Yes.
You know, and I have been working like 10 hours.
Yes.
And I saw the smell, you know, you smell the food.
Yes.
And you have to take the cables, you know, you haven't been eating.
Yes.
Because you're too humble to ask for lunch, you know.
Yes, I know. And then the grumpiness kicks in.
Yeah, no, but what happened is this. Okay. So this organizer, they had, you know, the mini disc, the old mini disc.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
from the 90s or 2000s. Yeah.
I think they record exactly 78 minutes or something like that.
Yes.
And they put the mini disc on the table and they said, we're going to record it. And I actually didn't, this is very important. I didn't push record, they push record, okay?
Yes.
And then after they had been eating dinner, you know, they had a couple of drinks, and I was about to go home. The mini disc is still there on the desk. And I unplug it.
Yes.
And I give it to the organizer. Okay, that's it.
Yes.
And then I was also bicycling at home because I couldn't afford taxi.
Yes.
And it was raining, you know, in Norway, like in November.
I know, yes.
If you work for 10 hours, you are cycling because you're poor.
Yes.
You know? And I get the phone. What happened to the recording? You destroyed everything. The whole production is going to hell because of you. And what happened is that this old mini disc, if you unplug them before pushing stop,
it doesn't save.
No, because of the metadata isn't stored with the file.
So they store it at the very end when you press the stop.
You have to push
recording.
Stop. You have to push the off button.
Yes.
If you don't push the off button, the metadata is not stored. So the data is there, but it's impossible to find it.
Yes, even with software we can't recover it. Maybe, yeah. Because I know with some kind of video formats, I prefer like the MKV file extensions because that will save even if the electricity goes out.
Exactly. You know, this is very important. These kind of live recordings that you have some kind of backup.
Yes. Oh yeah, backups. It's all about backups.
And also, I think most modern recorders will have this. Like if you plug out the electricity in the middle of the show, you're still going to retrieve the material somehow, you know?
Yes.
Because but these old mini discs, they don't have that, you know?
Yes. But I think that in a way it's a terrible experience there. But that's also all of those experiences is what kind of makes you become a great AV technician or sound technician, because you know what can go wrong. You remember it the next time, and you remember like, you know what, maybe just have a backup recorder, or, you always think about how can I have a backup to save the day in case something like that happens.
Yeah, I think so. I'd definitely be more careful with things that's not yours,
Yes. And of course, sometimes it's you just want to be helpful for the client, and then they blame you
Yeah, but in this, but my thing is that when they said you have ruined the performance, things like that,
Yes.
then I understood I can't be nice anymore, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, then they are like,
Yeah.
maybe they will sue me, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to defend myself, and I said, I'm sorry, I wasn't responsible for this box.
Yes.
You know, you are responsible. You had 2 hours after the concert done to take it out. You should know your own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, you know.
Yeah, and I've had similar things. I've had similar things actually, where at the moment when I talk to the customer when something went wrong, I was like, I'm sorry this happened, you know, I'm sorry. But later, maybe the people I'm working for have had to be a little bit more like, it's not our responsible, it's not our fault. And then the client became a little confused, like, but HansNic said that he was sorry, you know, to me.
Yeah.
But like, no, but we're not sorry anymore. It's not our fault. You know, I think it was some interference because the client showed up with their own transmitter because they wanted to do a recorder, and they used wireless transmitters which were interfering with one of the microphones on stage. So they brought equipment without testing it, that were transmitting on the same frequencies as our wireless microphones. So they basically ruined the show. But and I said, I'm sorry, because it's typical for me to say, I'm really sorry this happened. You know, maybe if I had thought more about it, we had time, we could organize the frequencies, you know, frequency organization before the show, but we didn't have time for it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault, you know. It was their equipment. They brought it. They should have thought about the frequencies that when they brought more equipment into a gig, which I had already set up everything, and they had not told me about that they were going to do some wireless transmission for their own equipment, just for some video or something they were doing.
Yeah, but I also think you kind of handle it correctly. Because when you are in the middle of situation, you are like the technician, then you should always be humble and say, I'm sorry, you know, you should always be positive-minded, try to solve issues here and there. But you also need someone higher up that can take the hard discussions, you know?
Yes.
A little bit the good cop, a bad cop.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So like, and that's why it's like nice to have a boss. You know, like you are on the floor, you can be humble to everybody, be nice.
Yeah.
But when things get tough, I mean, you need someone there on the top who kind of tells these client how things work and who is responsible for what.
Yeah.
You know.
And that is a challenge when I have gigs where I'm the only one, and I have the contact directly with the client, the customer, and I don't have anyone else involved, because then I have to be that person who also puts up clear boundaries, and that can be difficult. So I like when I have somebody higher up who can say, like, who kind of protects me, you know, protects the technician, and says that we are not refunding everything. This is not our fault. You have to deal with this yourself. We are, you know, but because if I remember correctly, it was the client had hired us, but they had also hired some other people to do some video recording or something who came, and they messed up. So the video recording people, they tried to put the blame on me, to save themselves in front of the client. So that's when we had to kind of say, it's not our fault. It was actually the video production company who came with their own equipment that didn't work. And but the funny thing is that the client took my side and started protecting me, because I have been working with them several times. So they kind of, they took my side because they trust me, and they knew that it wasn't really my fault. But I felt a little bad, you know. I don't like to put blame on other people. So
but again, it's a different. You are in the situation. You have to solve it. You have to be nice, make people work together. And maybe take some blame that's not yours. And maybe just another story. You know, it's a terrible story. Again, I can't say names. You know. But I was, you know, I'm mostly doing audio, and this was like big event. You know, minister coming to there. You know, we put on the microphones. Secret Service came in, checked the room. Everything is fine. You know. It's like, be careful of if somebody comes who's not there. You know, a lot of organization into this event, very important. But the streaming person didn't come. You know, so there was like a half an hour to show. There was no streaming tech, and I was only in charge of the audio. And then the boss of the venue called me. He said, Morten, you have to do streaming. I said, I don't know the equipment.
Yeah.
You have to do streaming. You know?
Oh, and it wasn't even your equipment.
No, but the thing is, the venue have to show the client that we are doing everything we can,
Yeah.
even if we know we're going to fail.
Yeah.
There was like a 10% chance that I would succeed,
Yes.
and I failed miserably, you know?
Oh, yes.
There was no stream.
Oh.
But, you know, at least we show them that we try our best.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if I was just sitting there, you know, there's no stream, no, it's not my responsibility, I'm doing audio, you know?
Yeah.
Then the client feel that we're not doing everything. But if they see that we are sweating, running down the basement, getting the rack, trying, then they at least feel that we are doing something, you know?
Yeah, and that is something that I've noticed, that the client, if they feel like they try to tell us something and they don't see that we understand the problem or issue, if it doesn't look like we're trying to fix it, they get very insecure and frustrated. So the importance of telling them that, yeah, we know that there's no streaming technician here, we are working on it, so we are dealing with it right now.
And then there's a question of, do you think you should show stress or not?
I know when I start to stress, I do a terrible job.
Yeah.
I don't work well when I'm stressing. I work much better if I can relax. So I have to breathe and, you know, kind of, in a way, do exercises to calm myself down during stressful events, because stressful events, I mean, we eat that for breakfast. You know, it's as soon as we come to work, it's stress.
Yeah.
So, and I'm kind of getting more and more used to it. But no, I shouldn't be stressed, but at the same time, I should let the client know that I take this situation very seriously, and I understand that what's going on is really bad, and I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to seem too laid back. If I'm like, oh yeah, we don't have a streaming technician. Okay, yeah, that was bad. All right, we are ready to go. You know, then they get stressed. But if I show that that's terrible and we will fix it, don't worry. You know, I'm making some phone calls now. My colleagues are making phone calls. We're working on it, and we still have 30 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's you know, this question has an answer, and that's the answer.
Yeah.
Is that you shouldn't be stressed.
Yeah, but it's difficult. It's difficult not to be stressed.
I also think it's sometimes, you know, I spend so much energy not looking stressed.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, just like this, and I can kind of feel it that I'm stressed anyway, you know. So, you know this, you spend so much time trying to look calm that you actually stress more.
Yes.
Just thinking about, I should not stress.
Yeah. You know? And I did a work. It was in January, and I was going through things in my life, and I mean, my buffer wasn't really big, you know, so I became stressed easily. And then I was going to do this event for a customer, live streaming, maybe 2,000 participants. And I was stressed, you know, it was my own client. And maybe if this went well, I would sign a contract with them, which is kind of a big deal for me. And I was stressful. And then we went live on Teams meeting, or Teams town hall meeting, it's called, I think. And then I got a message, or the producer got a message where it said, "There's no sound on the stream." And I looked up and I looked at the CEO who was talking, you know, it was like this kind of corporate events.
Yeah.
And I looked, and I got eye contact with her, and she probably could see the fear in my eyes, you know, and she was like, "What's going on?" She just continued, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's going on?" And because I was thinking, should I tell her to stop, or what should I do? But then we got a new message where it said, "It's okay, the sound is there."
They probably just forgot to turn up the sound on the Mac, you know.
Well, you know what? I figured out afterwards. The problem was that I had this noise reduction activated on the Teams setting. So we started with music. We started with a little introduction video where it was music and dialogue. So the music got phased out, you know, it was muted, but the dialogue were still there in the video. And because of that, people thought that the whole show was muted, but the dialogue was still there.
Oh, okay.
And after the video and we did that in the editing afterward, so we fixed it, so it was no problem, the video.
Yeah.
We just showed the video. But you probably heard about that thing that if you forget to go into studio mode in Teams, if you haven't deactivated noise reduction, things like that, you can run into those issues.
Oh, okay.
But then I got a phone call before the next event, and they said like, yeah, everything went well, but we just want to talk to you about that. The CEO felt like you looked so nervous. The technician looked so nervous and stressed, And I was like, oh man, I failed. I wanted to, be this technician who could come and do a great job. And then I was just nervous and stressed.
Oh, that's
not the image I want to have.
Yeah, that's very observant of the CEO,
Yes.
But you can't control how you look, I think. I think the best thing, if you can be natural, it's like be yourself.
Yeah.
I think then if you manage to be in a state where you are both not stressed and also not trying to be someone else, then it's the best.
Yeah.
Then you do the best job.
I think so. And also it helps a little bit now because you and me, we have done hundreds of events that's gone well, and probably hundreds of events where it could have gone really bad and we have fixed it. So we kind of know. I feel like now I have a little buffer ratio that I can fail and still kind of tell myself that I'm a good technician, because I know that I also have had many successful events.
Yeah, and that's true, and it helps with the experience. And also some people need a little bit job security, like that you have self-confidence, that they believe in you. As you say, don't be afraid of doing mistakes.
Yeah.
That's at the same time a little bit anxiousness or nervousness is good. I mean, it kind of helps you feel alive,
It does.
If you have an intro video and it's an important event and you don't feel anything, then I quit.
Yes, I know, because I see some technicians that are always laid back, and they are too laid back. Because sometimes you see that they don't notice when things go wrong.
I see that, but I also see this, especially sound technician, he's always so calm.
Yeah.
He's always like, and he never does mistakes. He's just so relaxed, and he can, fix everything. And,
yeah, that's nice.
It's like, there's no sound. Can you fix the cable, please? In the middle of the show, it's just there. People are different.
Yeah. And
some people, they have this really good way of performing. And Magnus Carlsen, the chess player,
yes,
they have like the pulse.
Yeah,
he gets like 80 in pulse when he's in like really tricky positions, and that's just him.
Yeah,
that's why he's so good.
Yeah,
because he managed to relax in this.
Yeah. So I think you're right.
People are just different.
Yeah, and. Sometimes I get disappointed in myself especially when I get feedback, telling me that I'm so stressed and I look stressed, because I don't want to be that. I want to be laid back. And I want people to know that I handle everything. But at the same time, I want to have that little nervousness. The ones you mentioned, because you know that this is what pays your salary. You have to deliver.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the next question. Have you ever reconsidered your whole career, your choice to go into the sound or AV business, that where sometimes maybe you have been at an event and thought, why did I bring myself into this to begin with? Like, do I like to torture myself, or I could have chosen a much more stable and relaxing job, but I chose this?
Yeah, I mean, I think there probably been this situations, but for me, I also have tried these normal jobs, like sitting in the office, and I mean, for me, I have actually been struggling a bit with the routine work. It's like doing the same things, and I think I need a little bit of pressure. Actually, it helps me to be at my best. Without thing being important and being live. Then it's kind of hard to concentrate in a way.
So
that's just me. I mean, people are different,
and but it is something like it is. I mean, I guess we both have a lot of fun and we are passionate about what we're doing. And the technique. I mean, I guess we can say that we're a little nerdy, both of us, would be categorized as nerds, perhaps. Maybe, like we like this technical stuff, and we have fun with what we're doing, and maybe we also like the adrenaline.
I think so. I think people who choose this kind of work in the industry,
they
like the adrenaline, and also a little bit of job insecurity. Like you have to fight a little bit for the jobs.
Yeah.
Like you don't know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. If people will still call you.
Yes.
And you'll get a job.
That's true. I mean, and of course it is. And maybe it's not the most family-friendly job.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't really know. At least I don't really know exactly how my next week, what it will look like, because I get a lot of work last minute.
Yeah.
So of course that's maybe a downside, but at the same time I kind of like it too. It's very interesting to see, what kind of people am I meeting next week? What are we going to work with? Things like that.
Yeah.
But can I tell you one of the things that I have done a couple of times, which is some of my fails. I just need to drink a little bit of water here, so we will cut it out in the edit anyways.
No, you should amplify the sound of your water coming through the speakers, so every audience member can hear this beautiful voice.
Yes. Usually when I go live, I have this little mute button, and I press that mute button because, I know that this swallow sounds. It's not for people sitting there at home listening on headphones. And if I use compressor and stuff, you can imagine what it sounds like. But yeah, so I was going to tell you, one of the things I have done when I'm stressed is that we start the show and I put up the microphone and I see people talking, but I don't hear anything. And I'm like, what's wrong,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the stressful start, beginning of the event, and then I bring it up even higher, and then suddenly it goes into feedback or something. Yeah. Or I hear somebody else talking, and I realize that I have brought up the wrong microphone,
Yeah.
Because usually I put the host, the organizer, or the host, what do you call it? Yeah. The host on microphone 8 or 1, and sometimes I messes that up, or I have already put it on 1, but then they call me and tell me, oh, by the way, there's another person who's going to introduce, and he gets mic number 2, and I forgot about, because of routine, I always know that mic 1 is the first one, so I start with mic 1 up, and there's no sound, because I should have gone for mic 2.
Yeah.
And it's especially embarrassing if that person talks, because sometimes I can hear some talking, so I just bring it up even louder, and then I realize it's somebody else having a conversation, and I have sent it out through the speaker.
Yeah, I mean, that's you kind of feel it when that happens in the first, like the first talk,
Yeah.
Then, oh no, this is the start of the event. How am I going to continue?
Yeah.
And there's a technical. I had this issue. I think it was an Allen Heat SQ5.
Yeah.
If you're on the auto mixer, somehow the levels, the meters were shown post fader.
Yes. I know. I know because I also have used. I usually do the QU16. That's the little brother, right?
SQ16.
And then I use
one of these mixers.
But the SQ5 it works a little different.
Oh, really?
But you can choose it on the settings. So when I used the SQ5, I was really confused because I worked using the auto mixer on the QU16, so the SQ5. I was really confused. But tell your story. Go ahead.
No, is that I wasn't remember if it was SQ5 or QU16.
Yeah.
But the point was that all the wireless microphones were post fader, right?
Yeah.
And of course, in the beginning of the show, you have it the faders down.
Yeah.
So the same thing happened. Like the host went live.
Yeah.
And there was no sound, and I couldn't see it on. That's why you need meters.
Yeah.
That this is the situation where you have a mix, where you have a console. You need to have like this really loud meters.
Yeah.
Not just a LED light, but actually can see.
Yeah.
Because then it's very easy to see which microphone is the correct one.
Yes,
right?
Yes, exactly. But the meter showed post. It showed post fader, right? So when the fader was down, you couldn't see anything. I had the very same issue. So I went into settings of utilities and I changed it to input, or on the input show input level, because that's what I like. I like to see the input levels before the faders, because I want to see how much. I like to see that there's input coming in, so I know that. Sometimes then I just look at the mixer and I see all 10 microphones are showing a little green light, and I know everyone is working.
Yeah.
But if you have the post fader, you look at it and you get stressed because you don't see any signal.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's kind of monitoring is very important for this kind of work.
Yeah.
To very quickly understand who is talking or not.
Yeah. But I think what you are saying is what is on the default setting on that mixer. But I think so, because I had to go and change it on a new mixer, and I was confused because I don't know why people want to see the level post fader.
Maybe when you are mixing something in a studio or something, you can then, if you take it down, you can use the meters to see that they are even. If you use the faders like this, but yeah, it's at least very important to have good monitoring.
Yeah. So
and good also good. I think one of our issues is that we work with different clients, and each client has different event schedules.
Yeah.
Like some schedules are very detailed. Like they say, Mike will have 5 sentences before Lise is saying something.
Yeah.
And then others, they might not tell you that, oh, by the way, there's a guy coming speaking, and then you miss it.
Yeah. Yes, I know. So back to the mixer. Do you have like a favorite sound mixer?
It depends on. I like the QL one.
Yeah.
For corporate work, it's
the
Yamaha QL.
Oh yeah, series. It's the Yamaha. Yes.
It's like very solid, never breaks.
Yeah.
You can put it in the initial state.
Yes.
It's like you put the initialize button.
Yeah.
And everything is there.
Yeah.
Like where things are, and also if you do music, the effects are already routed like where they should be.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like for like rental companies, I'm working with a lot of different rental companies. I don't have my own setup.
Yeah.
So I like to come to a console and push initial state, so I can just do what I want.
Oh yeah.
And there's also some difference between, maybe this is more like I'm not sure, but I think there is some difference between the different auto mixers, like the quality between the Yamaha Downdugan.
Yes.
And some of the else. But maybe this is also like, how do you say this, like pseudo, when you talk about sound, you talk about sound quality.
Yes.
It's hard to know what this...
It is, because when you operate on a mixer and you know that it's a good mixer, or if it's a mixer you enjoy working on, it kind of sounds better in your ears.
Yeah.
And yes.
But, I think this auto, when you're working with audio, corporate events like we're doing, the auto mixer is very important.
It is.
And the thing about the Yamaha, the Downdugan, is that if you have, let's say this microphone fell down here.
Yeah. Can I just fix it, by the way? It was.
Yeah, sure. Then the Downdugan is going to give a perfectly switch between these two microphones.
Yes.
The transitions between cutting off and going on is very smooth.
Because Downdugan, that is kind of the name of the auto mixing algorithm.
It's like the godfather of auto mixers. He's the first who made a really, really good algorithm.
Yes.
And I think maybe someone will arrest me here, that this ability to really switch smoothly between different microphones without hearing the choppy sound, going off and on, and
yes,
I think there's a difference, and you can especially hear it when you are on headphones on streaming.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I know that sometimes I can hear the auto mixer working, and because you feel like you kind of, it sounds like a fader goes up when people start to talk. Yeah. You can hear it.
And in some auto mixers, you can even hear the gate. Like when you start to cut, start to talk, it cuts off the first milliseconds or something.
Yeah.
So it sounds a bit natural.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting. Maybe some of yours would probably arrest me here,
Oh yeah, this is something that people have opinions about, the auto mixer, and And also, I'm not 100% about what I'm going to tell here, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the auto mixer because I had an issue with it.
Okay.
I think it was the QU16, the Allen Heath.
Yeah.
And this was an event. It was the last event I did before the COVID shutdown.
Okay.
And it was an event where people came from all sorts of countries. And it was in February, so people were coughing a lot.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they already had the COVID or not, but people were coughing. And I mic'd up people, and they were sitting in the audience and coughing, while people were presenting. And how I used to operate the auto mixer on that on the QU16 back in the days is that I usually just turned down the levels of the microphones that were not in use. And I had, so let's say mic 1 was up because mic 1 was presenting, but mic 2, the level was down because he was not presenting, he was sitting in the audience. But then I realized when mic 2, the person started to cough, the mic 1 was ducking.
Yes, but this has a solution.
Yes.
You gotta put a post fader,
Yes. But I'm not...
every microphone must be sent post fader into the auto mixer.
Yes, but I don't know if you can do that on the QU16, so because it's a little some limitation there. I don't know. Okay. So what I usually have started doing, which is now kind of my workflow, is that I always mute the microphones that are not in use.
Yeah, that you should do that anyway,
So I know, but then I started working on the... What was the other one? The
SQ5?
SQ5, yes, the SQ5. And that was different because then I realized that it was enough to pull it down. And then when I muted it, I wasn't able to see the input gain and things like that.
Yeah, I think that was the point that I was also struggling with.
Yes.
When you mute it.
Yes.
One of the mixers is the SQ5.
Yes,
it's then you don't see the inputs anymore. You don't see the meters.
Because I was used to working on the other Allen Heath mixer, the QU16.
Yeah.
And then I used to always mute the ones that are not in use, their channels. And then I couldn't see any input signal gain on it. So I had to open it up. So so that was frustrating. But I changed it in a setting to the way I like to work. But because I always work alone, I don't know what is the standard, what is kind of the industry standard, how other people work. I just do it my way. Yeah. Because I'm just working alone, solo, most of the time.
Yeah. But I mean, if you put all the other... If you have one speaker, he's on top with the fader and the rest can either be down or muted,
Yeah. Let me just turn on the light again.
Oh, did it turn off?
Yeah, I have it on the timer.
Oh, we've been talking so long now.
We have been talking too long. But that's good because we will basically just see if we have some sound bites here that we can use.
I gotta tell you another story.
Yes.
I used to be like interior before I worked with sound. That's how I started. And I'm doing a fantastic interior,
Yes.
And I came out to the control room and I forgot to push on my guest.
Oh.
And I had to call again,
Yes.
And I did another interview.
But was this in radio or?
Yeah, in radio.
In radio.
And I was actually doing the interview, so
yes,
at the same time as recording.
Yes, that's quite common in radio that they don't have a technician, so they start everything themselves and the host. So did the interview? The person had to come back.
It was over telephone.
Oh, it was over telephone, so you had to call.
I had to call again.
Yes.
But not with the same energy,
Yeah, I know. And it's a little bit embarrassing to you, kind of they don't trust you the same way anymore.
Yeah, so I really hope you remember to push record on both microphones,
Yes.
It looks good. I can see the meters there.
We can see it there. We can see that we are recording. And hopefully, if it's suddenly full, that it will save everything.
Yeah,
we don't know.
If the electricity goes, we have the metadata stored on the...
Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see. Anyways, this is just test and this is low key. We are kind of having fun with this. So, but it
not so fun when you think about all the mistakes we have done, But it's nice to live through it again.
It is.
All the faults.
All the faults, everything. But while you're here, one of the things I also want to ask you about is presentation tools.
Yeah.
Your company, because you have also developed an app or two apps.
Yes.
That's quite popular in the AV industry. The one of them is a countdown timer solution.
Yes.
and the other one is for automatic switching between presentations. Can you tell me a little bit about
let's
it?
start with the second one.
Tell me why you started it.
Well, I think if I can take the story.
Yeah.
No, I've been working I used to work with sound only, you know, and then I started like in 2016. I started with AV, and it was a lot of things to get used to, like how to get sound on the projector and lights and everything. And I noticed that one thing that I was really struggling with is just to make sure that the correct PowerPoint is on the display at the correct time.
Yeah.
It was like you had to fiddle with the mouse and, you know, drag and drop the mouse to find the button. You know, it was just so weird. Like everything else was so automated. Like you have faders, you have great consoles for sound and lights, but still you need to like find the presentation in the folder. And then I kind of thought that this should definitely be automated, you know, just make a simple solution to make sure that you have the right presentation on the screen. So then we developed, I had some help with some developers, you know, I'm not a developer myself.
Okay.
So what I asked for is that you basically first make a list of the presentations that you want to display, like each speaker brings their presentation. And when you want to go to the next speaker, you just push a keyboard shortcut. And then I found that this just saved me so much time.
Yeah.
You know, because it's for these transitions when the speaker goes off the stage and new speaker goes on the stage. That's when you need to work a lot as an AV technician.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, that's when you work
when you
in the
need to really be clever in how you approach things. You know, how you know, if your fader is there and then you need to do something there.
Yeah.
Every little second you can save in this situation.
Yeah. And that's also where you can mess up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because basically when the speaker is talking for 45 minutes, I mean, you can relax, you can have a coffee.
Yes.
You know, maybe even look at your phone. I didn't say that, but...
Well, I mean, we all do that,
I mean,
you know.
If somebody, if your wife sends you a message, maybe you can reply her.
Yeah.
You know, you have 45 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
But you really need to stay sharp in those transitions.
Yeah, you cannot answer a phone call or a SM message during those transitions. Then it's just 100% focus.
Exactly.
Because, and one button press wrong can make a huge mistake, you know. And yeah, so you really have to stay.
So, you know,
everything.
So we try to make tools that makes your workflow easier in these very tricky situations, and that's you know, that's basically how it started, you know.
Yeah.
And then we also made this countdown timer, which is I started, you know, it's kind of a very simple app because I think one of the main issues to have a countdown timer is just to make sure that the countdown is on the external display.
Yeah.
You know. So the good thing about QTimer, which we are developing, is that from one computer you can put it on external display, on the NDI, as a web source.
Yes.
You know? And you can even put it on top of PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Like so, if you have a PowerPoint presentation and the speaker wants to have a timer on top of that, you can do that from the same computer. You know, just have the clock and the PowerPoint on the same computer. So we really try to make these tools that makes it easier to be an AV technician.
Yeah.
Basically.
So as an AV technician, you decided to develop a tool that you would want to use yourself.
Yeah. So it kind of fits. I think if you look at what we're offering, you can kind of see that it's like an audio technician who also has to do some AV because he gets paid more, you know.
Yeah.
And then this is very simple things that makes it a little bit easier to do it.
Yeah, I have been looking a little bit at your software, and it seems the app seems very promising. So I will dive a little deeper into it. But I can say that we have been. Is it your phone? What was it?
No, you're imagining things, you know.
It's probably yeah. As a sound technician, I hear like a.
Maybe you're better hearing than me because I don't hear anything.
Okay, no, I just thought I heard some vibration, but that could be anything. Yes. So, anyways, sometimes I have these clients where timing is everything, you know, of the essence, and we have to go from a PowerPoint to a PDF, and that is quite difficult to go from a PowerPoint to a PDF. It's not something that's easy to do on a computer, because I mean it sounds easy when you talk about it, but it's not, because there's so many things that can go wrong, because suddenly the PDF comes up on the wrong screen and things like that, because we are not just working with one screen, we're working with multiple screens at the very same time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I found that the software came in handy.
Yeah,
just
because,
with pressing a shortcut, control and right arrow, and I went from PowerPoint to the PDF.
Yeah, because APS can display both the PowerPoint and PDF. And I think one of the problems with the PDF is that if you try to convert it to another format,
yes,
it easily looks a little bit different. I don't know if you have noticed that.
I've tried. I've tried to convert it to PNG. I've tried it to convert it to PowerPoint. Yeah, I've tried different things.
Yeah, especially if you convert it to PowerPoint, there can be like subtle differences in fonts and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's generally better to play it in the original format, you know?
Yeah.
And the problem is that these PDF programs we are using, they're not really meant for AV.
They're not.
They're meant for the office where people are, you know, looking at the PDF in front of them.
Yeah.
But if you need to put it on external display and control it, then it sounds really easy.
Yeah.
But again, if you are in the middle of the event, you have the speakers coming off the stage, you have maybe microphones, you have a producer who talks to you, then just putting the PDF on external displays can be tricky. Yeah.
And I think this is one of those things that looks very easy for people who see that we're doing it. It sounds easy, it looks easy. We're just going from a PowerPoint to a PDF. But that's kind of where your experience as an AV tech shows. Or comes in handy. You have to know exactly what you're doing and how the computer operates in order to go from a PowerPoint to a PDF. But of course, now we also have this software, you know, that can help you with that.
Yeah, and you can see when companies come in and they try to do the AV themselves.
Yeah.
You sometimes see that they are like struggling with having the correct window on the correct monitor, you know, like it's like these things which seem really easy with some pressure. It's difficult. So so that's why I kind of wanted this app that simply puts the PDF on the right display. And another thing is that, by the way, there are some. I don't want to mention a competitor. You know, quite good.
Yeah,
I heard of Slide Dog.
Okay. Yes.
You know, it's also.
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah. You know, they do it a little bit differently, kind of the same. I shouldn't mention competitor, but it's but there we can combine everything into one file, you know?
Yes.
All the presentations goes into one larger file.
Yes.
But you actually keep the original presentations, but you put it on, and then you put that on the display.
Oh yeah, but how easy is it? Because I have usually last-minute requests. Usually, or it happens sometimes that the person comes up to me and wants to fix something in their presentation, which is going to happen 2 minutes from now, while the presenter ahead of him is presenting. He comes to me and, oh, by the way, I need to fix something in the presentation, or I have a new version here. Can you load this version instead?
Yeah.
And I have to do it it has even happened while it has been their time to be on stage, and I have to work it while they're on stage.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the difference between APS and SlideDog, is that if you have everything rendered in one big file, it's hard to edit.
Yes.
You know, and that's why in our workflow, we need the flexibility.
Yes.
You know, and that's nothing beats having separate PowerPoint presentations.
Yes, and that's also the reason why I don't prefer to make master slides, because some people do that. They do the copy and keep formatting, keep source formatting, and they input it and they make a master slide. But as soon as somebody comes and make changes or press the wrong button, then you have ruined everything, the whole system.
And if you the way PowerPoint offline works is that everything is stored in a kind of zip file.
Yeah.
So when you push store, then everything needs to get stored again.
Oh yes.
Everything. So if you have 1 GB of PowerPoint file and you change one letter on slide 37, then the whole thing needs to...
I've noticed.
And if you are then sharing this over Dropbox on 4 different computers, then you need to send 1 GB again to each computer.
Yeah, so I think, especially then, because you just did a minor change in a small PowerPoint that was maybe just 1 megabyte or maybe just 100 kilobytes, you know, it could be just a tiny little presentation.
Yeah, and for example, and also if you have this workflow where we have a main computer and a backup computer,
yeah,
it's kind of common that you, for example, have one computer that you are that is connected to your system,
yeah,
and then you have a second computer that shares the Dropbox folder with the main computer.
yes,
so that you can sit here and check the presentation and do edits.
Yeah,
and you store it, and it syncs to this computer.
Yes, so I do that as well, because I need to have a backup. I need to feel secure that I have backed up on another computer and in the cloud.
Yeah, and then it's really good to have smaller files, and also like if you are doing one slide change on a presentation that will be shown in 2 hours, there's no reason to change the file you are showing now or the next file.
Yeah.
And also, you know, this is kind of the same, but if you have one big file, then you can't edit it while it's being displayed.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think that's kind of the great thing about your software is that you have actually been out there in the field. You've been sitting behind the desk, the mixer desk. You know how it is to be an AV technician. You haven't just developed the software for AV technicians. So you know the issues that we are struggling with. And so we don't need one big file. We need to have it individually, so we can do the edits individually, but still have a system that makes it easy to show it on screen, and to display it.
Another thing I want to say about APS is that when you are a technician like us, you're kind of on the bottom of the food chain in a way.
Yes.
Like, we can't do any changes. We can't say to the CEO comes last minute with the PowerPoint presentation, it has to look exactly the same as it does in the office, right?
Yes.
You can't tell the CEO, oh, by the way, we have this fancy new setup where you see the presenter notes there and then you have the clock there.
Yeah.
You know? It has to be, you have to use the original programs.
You do. So, and that can also be frustrating if people come with a PowerPoint they made on a Mac, and then it looks a little different because they've had their own fonts or something. It looks a little different on your Windows computer, things like that.
Yeah.
So because they don't understand, and they believe that it's your fault if things look different than from what it did in the office.
Yeah, but they should give the fonts to you in advance or something like that, you know?
Yeah, and I've been there, done that, made that mistake many times, so I always ask for the fonts. And that's also why I like to go through the presentations beforehand to see if everything works. Yeah. But sometimes you can't do that because they come with it the same morning. They bring it to you 5 minutes before they go on stage.
Yeah.
And you just have to stay calm and trust that it works.
Yeah, then it's out of your control. You can't do anything about that, you know?
Yeah. So, but I guess we have been talking a lot about different topics here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So it was a fun test, and we are going live. We're going live soon.
You're going live?
And then people there at home, you guys at home, can ask us questions. Ask questions to me or Morten. You know, I didn't introduce you with your full name. You know, Morten
Brekke Stensland.
Brekke Stensland.
And you are HansNic?
Yes, I'm HansNic, and I'm HansNic, the tech guy. HansNic, the tech guy, your friendly neighborhood nerd.
Great.
So yes, and you have been watching another episode of the HansNic Show. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, you too.
It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you in the field.
Great.